Greetings, hunters, and welcome. This seminar is one in a series designed to further your understanding of Enigmorphs, their impact on our world, and how you, as a member of the Hunters Hope Club, can better humanity through understanding of these bizarre creatures. The information presented here today, especially the newly discovered Enigmorph species, is highly confidential. In order to comprehend the full breadth of this seminar, it is imperative that you have first attended all previous seminars. If you have not yet completed these courses, I will ask you to quietly excuse yourself from this lecture hall so that you may become familiar with the entirety of our curriculum. The full library of our Enigmorph orientation seminars is available for your repeat viewing. Now then, assuming that all of you remaining are up to date on the topic of Enigmorph studies, let us proceed with today's seminar. We will begin by introducing an entirely new topic: capturing, storing, and transporting Enigmorphs. Until this point, we have only glanced at the subject of Enigmorph training. However, none of you have yet received the proper equipment to actually go out and capture these Enigmorphs for further study. Enigmorph capture is a complicated process made simple by an intricate invention of the HHC's most brilliant engineers, the ECAS device, or the Enigmorph Capture and Storage device. These small, portable mechanisms are a unique tool used only by our organization to safely capture, store, and transport Enigmorphs. No, you will not be receiving any ECAS devices of your own, not yet at least. For today's seminar, I have here a few diagrams that will allow you to become familiar with the device before you are ready to use one in the field. The device measures approximately 9 inches in length and weighs only a few ounces. It can be easily carried in a bag, on a belt, or even as a necklace. However, we advise our field agents to keep their devices secret at all times. These things are not only incredibly complex, but extremely expensive and difficult to manufacture. If they are lost, damaged, or stolen, the cost to replace them will come out of your personal salary. Though the science behind these wonders of technology are complex beyond most people's comprehension, they are simple enough for even the dullest of HHC members to use, provided that they are adequately trained. The mechanism's main functions are powered by a bismuth core. Bismuth has been used for centuries to trap and contain Enigmorphs, though the ability to store, sort, and release several Enigmorphs in a single core is a recent advancement. Our organization has connections to individuals with ample experience in this field, and these allies have aided in the invention of modern ECAS devices. Any questions regarding the identity of these connections will be dismissed. This is classified information, known by only the highest ranking of the HHC. Bismuth has a unique interaction with Enigmorph biology, warping space and trapping the creatures in what appears to them as an infinite labyrinth. Whether or not the Enigmorphs find this experience unpleasurable is yet unknown, but it has been shown that subjects contained for an extended period of time become more amiable and easier for trainers to work with. To activate, the user must press down on the button located at the bottommost end of the device. This will open the copper casing and reveal the bismuth core held in stasis within. After activating the device, the open capsule will hover without needing to be held. It is recommended that a chain or some other way to anchor the device to the user is attached to ensure that it doesn't float away. Once the core is exposed to a nearby Enigmorph, it will begin to absorb the Enigmorph's essence. If the Enigmorph resists, it will be able to escape the effect of the bismuth. In this case, trainers will employ their own Enigmorphs to weaken the target to the point of exhaustion. Only then will the core be able to successfully absorb the Enigmorph. Not all Enigmorphs need to be weakened before capture. Some can be convinced through bribery, persuasion, or simply by being asked to join a hunter. Once bound to a bismuth core, that Enigmorph will no longer be able to be absorbed by any other core. It will stay connected to that core until it is destroyed or until the Enigmorph dies. Your bismuth core can hold several Enigmorphs at once, but the capacity is limited by the corruption stage of each Enigmorph held inside. For example, you can hold several times more nascent Enigmorphs than you can apex Enigmorphs in a single core. Field agents must plan ahead before setting out on an expedition and bring an appropriate amount of Enigmorphs for the job at hand. To select which of the Enigmorphs held within your ECAS device you'd like to release, turn the ring on the top of the device. Your Enigmorphs will be displayed in the windows of the device, with the active Enigmorph showing up in the window indicated by a small arrow. To release the selected Enigmorph, simply activate your device with the chosen Enigmorph selected, and the Enigmorph will be released from the core. To return a released Enigmorph back to its core, leave your selection window empty, and repeat the capturing process again within the vicinity of your Enigmorph. Occasionally, even captured Enigmorphs will need to be persuaded to return to their core. Hence the importance of training. Experienced Enigmorph trainers can command their Enigmorphs with ease and develop close bonds with each of their team. Enigmorph training is a topic that will be covered in more detail in a later seminar. Finally, for those of you who enjoy expressing yourself through accessories, the plate on the front of the device is removable. Users may customize their device with different cosmetic plates. This is a preliminary introduction to the ECAS device. I expect many of you to have questions, and I encourage you to write them down below in your notebooks. I'll be sure to answer as many as I can. Now, of course, it is time for your HHC-mandated recess. Don't think I've forgotten about your unyielding and insistent lack of punctuality. You may be on break, but you're still in my class. And Cain may have sided with you the last time you tattled, but trust me, she can't protect you forever. I expect you back in no less than 1 minute and 42 seconds. Don't be late.
Oh, hey, I managed to catch you. Yeah, it's Jack again. Real quick, I know you got time. I just wanted to thank you. Yeah, thank you. You and all of our amazing Patreon supporters and channel members. Your monthly donations keep this channel going strong, and we really couldn't do it without you. If you're interested in joining the ranks of superfans who generously share their hard-earned paycheck with us, consider joining as a Patreon supporter or a channel member. Patreon supporters get all sorts of great rewards, from stickers to prints and exclusive videos only available to them and to our channel members. Our most recent one, a continuation of my Drawing Dragons crash course, is available now. So thank you again to all of you. You don't know how much your continued support means to us. And thank you for letting me bend your ear again. Go ahead, get back to class, you crazy kids.
Well, you're all here. On time. Well then, I suppose I can save this slide for another day, and, ignore those fairy cakes, they're, no good. Thank you for coming back on time. Now, let's continue with the seminar. We only have a few things more to cover, namely some newly discovered Enigmorph species. We'll start with Spriggy, a nascent flora and medica type Enigmorph. Numerous but difficult to find, Spriggy are corrupted from the buds of flowering plants. They are shy and reclusive, but generally friendly if approached with care. They have a deep connection with other living things, understanding in an instant the needs and fears of plants, animals, and other Enigmorphs. They will attempt to care for lost or wounded individuals, all while trying to remain unseen. If you find that small fruits or medicinal herbs are suddenly appearing around you during an expedition, there may be a Spriggy hiding somewhere, keeping close watch. The nectar they produce is sweet, and has some curative properties, but they are reluctant to share this with any but the closest of allies. Melamiles seems to have a symbiotic relationship with these Enigmorphs, sometimes turning their nectar into the potent honey that Melamiles is known for. Notable abilities include exceptional stealth, the production of a medicinal nectar, and a fragrant incense that can calm animals, humans, and other Enigmorphs. Spriggy can corrupt into Mulburrow, a Harbinger Terra and Flora type Enigmorph. Mulburrow live underground during the day. Despite their bodies being made up entirely of plant matter, these Enigmorphs do not photosynthesize. Instead, they are able to derive nutrients from the light of the moon. How this is possible, our scientists are still unsure. Their nocturnal habits make them somewhat difficult to find, but their presence in a certain area can be easily identified, even during the day. They are able to effortlessly sculpt the earth using the long petals that envelop their head, creating massive networks of tunnels beneath gardens, farmlands, and even buildings. This excavation can sometimes result in collateral damage, causing sinkholes and structural collapse. If a hunter is able to capture and train a Mulburrow, they can instruct it to repair such damage, rebuilding and reinforcing the ground so that new structures can be built. Notable abilities include control over dirt and earth, incredible speed, exceptional stealth, and strong prehensile petals that can grab and lift. Mulburrow can corrupt into the apex enigmorph Chamidreme, a fey, void, and flora type. On silent, moonlit nights, listen for the eerie cries of Chamidreme. Like the mournful wails of a widowed bride, their calls echo through the darkness and are lost. They may sound melancholy, but Chamidreme are actually very benevolent enigmorphs, seeking wayward souls in need of guidance. They will watch silently from afar, providing unseen protection for those who cannot protect themselves. They feed off moonlight and grow stronger or weaker depending on the current phase of the moon. During full moons, they are able to charge their singular horn with lunar energy, and from it they discharge massive bursts of blinding light that will obliterate anything in their path. Stay on their good side, however, and Chamidreme will be an ally like no other. Notable abilities include great speed and silent footsteps, enhanced senses of sight, smell, and hearing, and a moonstone horn that can cut through stone and blast through steel. That concludes today's seminar. Thank you for your attention and your actual, legitimately successful, punctual return to class. Keep this up, and maybe I'll bake you all some fairy cakes without laxatives in them. If you have any questions about the information covered in today's lecture, and I sincerely hope you do, please write them down below in your notebooks. I'll be sure to address your curiosity as soon as possible.
Now that we've finally moved on from Enigmorph typing, I'm excited to present to all of you the first look at the device that players will use to capture and store their Enigmorphs. The initial concept for the ECAS device was inspired by the original Apoctober story, specifically by Celeste's amulet. Unknowingly, Celeste must have gotten her hands on a dusty old ECAS device. How Bonnie ended up inside of it is... well, that's a story for another time. I wanted the devices issued by the HHC to look like technology from the late 1800s, very embellished and elegant in design, but also a little impractical looking. Sort of form over function, even when it comes to capturing eldritch horrors. While I was designing it, I was imagining holding the thing in my own hands, and what it would feel like to open up the device, use the device, and carry it around. Because of this, it ended up being something kind of like a fidget toy, with fun buttons and knobs and spring-loaded mechanisms that would be really fun to idly play with. One day I would love to hold an actual ECAS device in my hands and fidget with it while I wait for my League game to start. Now, the Spriggy cycle is my first attempt to diversify the target demographic for the Enigmorph world. My wife Claire requested that I designed a bunny Enigmorph for her, and since she likes feminine designs way more than I do, I thought this would be a good opportunity to create something cool but elegant, cute, but not so cute that it looked out of place. Nature spirits, mischievous sprites, and the general aesthetic of a whimsical forest served as my primary inspiration for this cycle. There's this fun line to walk between conventional beauty and uncanny eeriness, and I wanted to achieve that with this cycle. Maybe not with Spriggy. Spriggy is kind of just a cute little flower creature. People have pointed out that since I want each stage of an Enigmorph cycle to be as desirable to capture and use as the next, I should make each stage in the cycles more distinct from one another, not just visually, but in terms of their typing and abilities as well. Each stage of this cycle serves a different purpose for a potential HHC field agent. Spriggy can provide food and medicine, Mulburrow can manipulate the earth, and Chamidreme is powerful enough to take on even the strongest foes. There are different applications for each Enigmorph and their specific skill set, but each is valuable in its own way. I want to design more Enigmorphs like this going forward. Anyway, that'll be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe for more additions to the world of the Enigmorphs. Thank you again to our amazing Patreon supporters and channel members, and we will see you all in the next video.